This video is about transforming this table because of the material which used to lie down there. I wanted it up, little up here, so that I could get the bottom clean. And then that is what I ended up making. Let's begin. This is the first set of mortises in the legs on the inward side, which makes it 4 mortises in all. Detaching the shorter side with the legs, detaching the legs with the shorter brace. Let's call this the main frame and this the shelf beams. The main frame was fixed by nails to the legs, due to which I had to chop it off, and that area then was no longer good enough to make a mortise again out of. So I thought I'd flip the legs and use the base of the legs to make fresh new mortises. The primary shelf beams which attach into the legs were made from 3 pieces of plywood. So this is cutting the 2 pieces at 3 inches depth and gluing them up together. Of course, eventually I'm going to use some reinforcement to hold it together. These secondary beams were connected to the primary beams with the wedge tenon mortise joint, so making the mortises for the same. And now I'm trying to clean the surface of the shelf beam because 3 different pieces, they were not extremely aligned properly, so I had to clean it down and make it, at least try to make it one single surface. And that's not too bad for a rookie. That's good. And finally, the biggest reward is always see the whole work come together, and there is just it's an immense amount of happiness when you know that okay, the first phase of the job is complete, and that's a happy smile. Believe me, you just can't get enough of sanding. So it's sanding with the machine, sanding with your hand, trying to get into the nook and crannies and sand it better so that the eventual prize of this entire process is when the grain reveals itself, and it's so beautiful. The legs were made of beautiful teak wood, and I didn't want to retain the color of the plywood, which was for the shelf beams, which was very dusty and blurred, brown, lightish brown beige. So I decided I could stain it walnut, and there could have been a contrast of the shelf beam and the main frame. Securing all the joints with dowels. So I'm making the dowels, and yeah. The previous table had a single top. I thought to split it and that the back would be fixed and the front could move, and the space which I got in the middle, I could use it to have the blade going through if I had to make a through cut for any bigger plywood. It, it's a it's definitely advantages for me. But also I was splitting the weight, as the weight of the first top was much more. So I decided to kind of have another layer to it, and of course even I wanted to finish the top well, and I did not want to reveal that ugly white paint which was there on the top and all the experiments that I had done, and then I had to reinforce it. and also clean the edges. Securing the edges with edge banding. Edge banding in local Hindi we call dhar patti. And now my favorite part, the oiling. This is when everything that you've been working on for since like a month, it just pays off, and it's so soothing to your eyes, and it really makes you satisfied that it's a great thing that you ripped the paint off, and so that now it can be who it really is.